that we prayers in our respective religions before we start. So, left or left. No, the AC is on. The AC is on.
Everybody is okay? Media? We can go.
Okay, thank you very much. And like I said, welcome once again for taking your time and coming to this press conference. As we all know, this is an alarming issue. Every concerned citizen is affected by this, and that's why Team Groups of is here to bring you the concern to your doorstep and involve every individual here in the Gambia. But before I give you with my name is Mariam Abuja. I'm the media officer for Team Groups of and of course on the high table here. Right immediately next to me is Ali Cham. He's an artist and activist, and he's the president of Team Groups of We have a representative also from
Consumer protection.
From Consumer Protection. Yes, Osman Janos. He's the consumer. He's the president, and he's representing the consumer fraternity. Thank you very much for joining us. And of course, Yusuf Kelo is the spokesperson of Team Groups of he will be leading the statement today for Team Groups of on behalf of the team. And the next to him is Hussein Gambia. He's also a very active person when it comes to every issue when it comes to things in the Gambia. Of course, Hussein, Team Groups of will be doing the translation for us in Malika later on. Of course, the next to Hussein is Lamin Mane, a concerned Gambian citizen who will also deliberate on issues concerning the increase of travel here in the country. We have Falo Dallas, who is also a concerned citizen, also will be saying a few words with regards to the headline this morning. Thank you very much, and we'll go straight to Yusuf Taylor, who is the spokesperson of Kingdom Saboka, who is going to be reading the statement.
Thank you very much, members of the press, for being here. We really appreciate everybody. The statement: bring back cheaper tariffs for electricity and water. Access to affordable water and electricity is a basic fundamental human right which any serious government must provide its people. Unfortunately, the Gambian people have been struggling to enjoy stable electricity and access to clean water since independence, leading to the rebranding of the Gambia's only national water and electricity company. The Public Utilities Regulatory Authority, PURA, which is paid by Gambian taxpayers to regulate the supply of public utilities, has shown no interest in addressing NAWEC's poor standard of service delivery, which continues to cost Gambians billions of dollars in loans and bills. PURA failed to ensure that NAWEC consulted the Gambian people sufficiently on their extortionate tariff increase as required by Section 34, subsection 2B of the PURA Act 2001, mandating them to conduct research, including seeking the opinions of consumers of the service before approving any increases. Instead of focusing on improving the quality and standard of these basic services required for our survival, NAWEC has decided to increase the prices of electricity 37% and water 20%. Water and electricity are interdependent because taps go dry in the absence of electricity, which is required to pump water into our taps. Numerous communities suffer from lack of water supply, with many having to wake up at late hours in the morning to fetch water to be able to take a shower to go to work the next day. An investigation by the Center for Collaborative Investigative Journalism, which is titled The Gambia's Water Paradox, highlights how our country is blessed with plentiful water resources, but yet failing to provide safe water for its people. This highlights pure lack of care, with over 70% of the Gambian population suffering from E. coli in household drinking water. That's what the investigation is saying. According to NAWEC's electricity roadmap, which they published in November 2021, the average monthly electricity expenditure of households in rural areas was just over $1,150 and over $1,780 in urban areas. With NAWEC's extortionate 37% tariff increase, the average done our research. According to media reports from the Punch newspaper, NAWEC has been struggling to pay arrears of almost $1 billion owed to Senelec back in April 2020. The Gambia government is also reportedly owing NAWEC close to $750 million. This led to numerous blackouts during the Ramadan period. The millions of dollars that the government owes NAWEC and NAWEC's billions owed in loans that Gambian taxpayers continue to pay highlights the financial calamity NAWEC finds itself in. And all of this, I tell you, is at the expense of the Gambian people. The signing of the agreement with Senelec has been a disaster from the beginning, with one of NAWEC's own engineers blowing the whistle about how senior NAWEC officials failed to ensure due diligence to secure the best prices for electricity for Gambians. Our group, those of us sat here, we will work with all Gambians of all spheres to peacefully demonstrate our dissatisfaction with NAWEC over their latest tariff increases, which will surely compound the cost of other goods and services. after the transportation price hike earlier in the year. We call on all security officers, starting with the Inspector General of Police, to ensure that he secures our right to peacefully demonstrate our concerns. Our movement will be conducting local sensitizations in the public to discuss the latest price hike. And we implore on NAWEC to tell the Gambian people the real reasons why they have introduced this extortionate new tariff. Finally, even if a tariff was to be introduced, an increase of 37% for electricity and 20% for water is clearly unaffordable, leaving us with no option but to demand the federal government.
Thank you very much, Yusuf Taylor, for that statement. I'm sure a lot of people will understand what Yusuf just means. And of course, we'll do a summary of that in Mandinka shortly by the same Gambia will help us do that in Mandinka. If you're ready, I think that's possible.
Yeah.
You can go ahead.
Okay, salaam rahmatullah. Mani kami dulu, mobile kono, solution ini yang ada kami mobile. Ini mobile sering yang kabo di bom sabwa kabo konsansi ini yang pangkoro kuo boleh hari karena benda. Bini si jawab ko nalar ko boleh ke kami kabo kajaman karena terlalu kumpul. Ngajar ko amam di bagai nalar ke tarik kami tarik ko buat kami sangkura ko ya apa. La baro be ala bo man gambe ni mo be na ba ko sande mo be ba ko de ajibe harbi ni nyanto lo pour ba ko di mo ba ko de ye ko ran solo ani jiyo ni ala bo isa afwa ga sa apoles ela ko so sa sinema be min do ga ne ko ni ko san mo la ni ke jesu mo le mi la nyanto para gambe ala maskunda hajer ko nyanto ni man tra di ga gambe de mo so ko ni be na min na ra ji na yi tarif investment ni ana ko la famille ani dina famille garu de ngakam tare tare sen ni ana ta sabani woro la yo la fa koronka parce moi parce que moi yo la fa jioga ngero be stro kan o parce que ko mi fo mi ni be stro kan ko jo ina ni fa da kan ade ko ko ni ya mo manya ne kala adu ko ni mo tora kan ne ele nyanto ko ko di la ni jio kila sira bi oke be tora kan ka fa na body silo miano ke ande pura mo di ko jamo ko te ko na hana de do pura body di miano ko itelle be mo ning na rekte itelle be ko suma wala ko ni ta benefit na sa dina lo ya tan ko nin na ngi ndal ni investment pura da mek solale na o futa banko di mol bera ka tan mo la ko ni la fa ko la ke le mo te ka wa ga mi engagement ko engagement bare to ya ko pura Kemia bedela la doko modan molle ke jo na sare molle ke jo primu dugo ha yo kele bare image kemia ko adol nyafa because bring na so be ngale ko mo jama la da ba mo kemia ko imam pura lo ni men kalanda so pura le ni ko pura le mia ko image ni la ta atenya me bola ka mo kalanda sa dina ra jibe pura ko aina ra jibe gamino la sare ali kamiso gambe diwa kami soro sare ko ani ne ko wala fa ne ko la fa ya ko gandi agana di ko la bolunya ba gana tarendere bolunya gana ko len dele ba ko no la ala diamo ko ko je ko gambe du ba ko le yango ala en dima jiyo ma ko le wori da mo be jiyo ko mi ana nawe ko ko be di yango iso yu resto ka je ko jibuo amake problème de gambe dambata hani ko jibuo amake problème de gambe gambe so diamo ko ngai ko nawe ngari sabi ke ya ni ko gambia la mas nawe ya tani mo la ko gambia la masakunda bunda le julule men nawe ko ko min ju ara ko 750 million dollars siga after ngaje ko nawe fana e juro le soto Sénégal la compagnie ne ga ko Sénégal ya ga dafa million billion killing ya ko ya to na for the mode of the ya ko nawe mass to no hansa sa do ya ko nawe ko increase mo ni na kan hada ba gambe da ko kam won ko ga dañu do foiro la ko alla sarri ni wa kam sura do hubla alla na la fanyu kam mata na Sénégal jo wa kan do Sénégal jo muna na ko dos nawe mo electric programme faye Sénégal ko Sénégal mo wani country la compagnie le parce que banko mi yaran ko ma courant fond di le banko mo be la e ke la courant ko la ya semi do ko duro ka ni wolte ma banko dingol kana ka so ko la e la sarri dingol e o tay o ko mi to ma ta ni ñambo bi nga ne sa tan ke ay affaire Gambia ni ya de grade 1 to grade 5 mo la sarri ka mi so do ko Gambia o jani ni ya de ko 3000 ama fara 3000 so ni increment o ko ya la fara o mo sa ko ni nara jibe fana ruwan Gambia ni ajibe korola ya hayma na research ya hayma mo yimbe ruwan Gambia wan wuli killing ani kemenin talu e ko dum koroni ya jibo ko ni be jama ko mo jama ko wuli killing keme woro wala tanse e ko dum e ko ko de sari ko ka dum ko ko banne ko ni na faawo min kala de abaten na ko hande be ruwan Gambia sai yeto cross wuli killing keme lulu tan woro la e bo la fala je sa ki hobo ni mola sare ko bando lembe ko moja ni ajibe wuli fula keme nani ani tan nani e bo le fengela ka boni la sare ko sa ne ka 3000 sare so we wuli fula keme nani tan nani boni je pour nawet dem na ko because nawet la yu tari wala balwo be la le nyaade so ngadel ko mu gamelo be la concerne bi wala na ko ka ko be ga jenno ka nga ko ni ke Gambia banko government ele nyantole na kalme fana ko ko be village do ko di la village la meta ko 46 village tan na ni si village mi ko ko di village so la ko ko mi ko kendo ngam di mol be ya upload mo be ko da ko par sa yo ko di ko di milla rural Gambia sa en ke mi la wonga ko men di le basano la nyaade de na tra mo mi an para sari man si yo ko la fa mare kam yo ko do mare sa en ke mi ko mi o ko sando la nyaade de woro fana ko do nyaade nawe nyanda ka so kan na Gambia dum be kumandi ka because na ko nawe club contract wala government ye contract sign select tema do leer ko nawe kamin fo mo le banda o mo ko mo be ko so na nawe kumandi na pour na fi ko ko dum le ya ti mo la ko mo ne ko ya na le fa ke ko la ba ka ga access mini banda do ma do nya fa na mo ko mo le andum na dimension men ditaye ko courant de ay dituma ko gambe dimo gambe di mo ko do ke yaay ko so courant na fami na tra fa do ke no ta dituma ko mo be handi numéro so ko sanno wala courant be dum dane ya mo ni mo de abe je sa o kam be ba ko dimo be ko mandila ka wo police bundala kana ka ngara ñu banko be ko ni to be ko so wala ko mo be gas wa na dem gas ko ma gas wala fa ma gas ni gas fa la fa courant joro la fa ay mum toro si mo ba ngajal business be la fatal dafa wo yo sa ko yo sa ni mo ken dalasi sa ga fi mo 20 dalasi la do ne bi yo la fa mo le afana ba business la fa ni business la fa da abina mo na ba ko di mo la kan ba yo sa ko di mo la abina la toro la so from pour me and expect to all businesses so ne ko la fa rek yo la fa rek do be la fa na mo ka mo bina toro bina mo ka wala bina ko nga mo be ko mande mo be na police lo gambe lo amake police kuti amake parti kuti amake sikudi gambe di wala mo be yek ko la do ni ko so da ma so to ya ma so ba to la joni sa so ba Gambia be so ko be fini la bandale peacefully kairo kono kana mi ko atandi nawe klani gambe ma so kundala bi be keri bokani mbakela da dana ko mo jabe ko da ba mo be mobilize mo be fini bolo la sa ni police be engine me so la ka tani la ko na nyanto no dale fami di mola na fi silo kam na ba ko be ko ne ga na nyanto ko mole so no para sida bayla ko na gambe mo mobilize mo be so ma ita la sidi fe be so ko ni mo findi la e findi gambe banko e na ta na tele la ko enough is enough da ko ya sura gambe ko dafa doy man ni ko ka ba kan interessant bring back the keep tarif ko bidé ali amadou namba
because mo de biya baby da la faka ay wala ka baake mandi fulmi ala ko woni be kan pour mo fana sa because it's very important that we do the deliberation as well in Wolof and in Mandinka, so people, the local people that are really affected and can understand what this gathering is all about. Next, we are going to call the president of the Consumer Protection Consortium. He is Alpha Omar Jallo, Alpha Usman Jallo. He's going to say in a few words, and of course, to represent his institution as well. Mr. Jallo, you're welcome.
Yeah, thank you. Yes, good morning, everyone. I am, as introduced, I am Alpha Usman Jallo, and I'm the president of the Consumer Protection Consortium. I'm sure some of us for you, Consumer Protection Consortium. Consumer protection. I'm sure we all know what consumer protection is all about. This issue of marriage is all about consumer protection. This is about rights. It's about human rights. Because if you are talking of electricity, water, and all, there are fundamental, basic human rights that should be provided. Okay? And the onus is on every government of the people to look at it and know that, it's a right of its citizenry to be provided with that. And key among the messages that I have heard here is about access and affordability. Affordability. We are not saying let it be provided freely, but let it be affordable, and let also it be of quality. This is an issue. It's not about, yes, we are providing electricity, we are providing water, this does not need to be politicized. This is not about politics. This is not about politics. I'm sure most of you here are renowned activists. And the moment the general public see Flexdown, see Killer AIDS, and some of these young guys, they say they are up again. They might have been insinuated or, this is maybe an influence coming from the opposition. Let me make it clear that we are not here to sensationalize anything. It is just to be real and know that this is an issue which is affecting everybody in this country. Whether you are a minister, whether you are a permanent secretary, whether you are, member of the civil service, or whether you are in the informal sector. It is affecting the business sector. It is affecting the tourism sector. It is affecting every aspect of our economy, socio-economic development. So this is a concern, and it should be a general concern for all that. So I applaud Team Bomsaboga for coming up. These are the sorts of associations and pressure groups that we are looking forward to seeing. Civil society associations should be very much organized. And as a consumer protection association, we call ourselves consortium. This is what we've been crying for, that we need associations, people to come together. And it's not only about being an activist and, advocating for some other issues which may not be related to, it could be climate change, it could be issues on water, it could be issues on the high price of basic essential commodities. It could be the issue about transport, the issue of transport and infrastructure in the Gambia here, where we are faced with, this is the reality. Whether you belong to this party or that party, the reality is that we are faced with several challenges, and some of the institutions that are mandated to take care of this, in this case, it is PURA. In this case, we are talking about PURA. Now, okay, we'll give them the benefit of the doubt. We are not saying, well, for the consumer protection consortium, I'm sure We will be engaging Team Gomsaboba, and for us, we believe in dialogue, and we feel the way this thing has been, cooked by Nawe and endorsed by Pura, we feel the necessary consultations of the relevant key stakeholders was not done properly. We will agree with Pura that yes, we have called stakeholders. Yes, okay. The GCCPC, that is the Gambia Competition and Consumer Protection Commission, was at Pura. Some other consumer association was represented at Pura, but not the consortium for that matter, because we were taken by surprise. And the consortium supposedly should be the platform where the other consumer associations, it would be a common platform where all these other consumer associations would come. And then this is what it's like tango. It should be an apex association. So if you are reaching out, you don't look at briefcase organizations, but you look at real grassroots, national organizations or associations that are in this context and consult with them. This is what we are saying. So we will be, of course, we will be engaging or re-engaging Pura. We will be engaging the Gambia Competitions and Consumer Protection Commission, because that is our legal avenue. That is where we will, if we want to seek redress, that is where we will go. So it's not all about demonstrations. And, for us, we will say that would be a last resort. But alongside, whilst there is sensitization, and both here, and I'm glad you said even upcountry, by that, we would be working closely with Team Gomsaboba to come up with a formal complaint, because Team Gomsaboba and all the journalists and all the police officers and all the business community are all consumers. So we will be coming together, identify all these issues, and come up with justifications why the tariff should come down. And then we would file that and engage Pura and all the other stakeholders and see whether negotiations, there is room for negotiations. In the event that happens and we come down, it is just, inconceivable to increase tariffs, not 5%, not 10%, which are all negotiable, but 37% increment. And the multiplier effect, that what would happen if electricity and water increase, everything increases. Everything increases. Everything. The cost of the ice, cost of storage of meat, the cost of transport, everything in this economy increases. The basic essential commodities that we need would increase. Is that what is ideal? Is that the way to go? Does that make economic sense? It doesn't make economic sense. It doesn't make even political sense. So here we are. We are going to rally together, and we are indeed very, very happy that we have Team Gomsaboba in this, and we are calling on all other civil society associations to come on board. And we will engage Pura, NAWE, and the GCCPC. And from there, depending on what comes up, then we are certain that, in fact, we will start from now working on filing a formal complaint to the GCCPC on this and bring out all justifications. Here we are, congratulations, and we also want to thank the media for really taking this on. This is everyone's fight. So we are looking forward to making sure that this is popularized and everyone in this country and outside know about what is happening and the plight of Gambians. Okay, we thank you very much, and I want to also, on behalf of the executive members of the consumer, that is the CPC we call, the Consumer Protection Consortium and the Consumer Fraternity. We are in support and we are in this together, and we want to thank you very much. Okay? And forward ever, backward never.
Thank you very much, Uncle Alpha Usman Diallo, President of Consumer Protection Consortium. Thank you very much for that wonderful deliberation. Moving on, we're going to invite Falu Gala Sise, junior activist, to summarize in all, because we say really just so we're going to listen to Falu for that statement in all. Just a summary.
waaye mbiri courant bi nii ak ndox buñ ko dooree ni mu été gi pour Gambian people bi yëpp ñu ko dooree woon ci jamono occupation 2017 te ñu doon xeex yëpp moom moo nekk ci koo xam ne ni dëkk nga Gambia nga am courant ak ndox mu mun laa fekk ci fi nga dëkk so loolu suñ ko dooree 2017 ñëwaat ba ci 2023 mu am ay 6 years plus su fekkee ne leneen da nga koo xool si groupe bu fi toog nii benn woot doo ko mën a use passé yeneen yi moo nekk consistance li ñu fi indi tey moom moo nekk li nga xam ne moom moo dal dëkkat pour Gambie mooy nawet seen increase in price su gars yi rek nga xam ne courant bi jël nañ ko yokka si 37%, ndox bi ñu jël ko yokka si 20%. te Gambien yi ñoom ñëpp suñu xoolee xam ne PURA moom moo amee wàll boo xam ne nii moom moo war a saytu public utilities yi nga xam ne ñoom ñoo nekk si biir dëkk bi yëpp te ñun ak Gambien su toog seen biir kër dañu dem ba gis ne PURA ni ñu ko doxalee ak ñu gars yi demee nekkul dëgg ba pare nekkul yoon. Gambien si door nañ li xam ne soo xoolee si dex bi PURA ñu la doon wax ne ñu gars yi daan mun a consumer si ndox ñu daan demee si $1,150 waaye 37% increment bi nii bu ñu ñëwee from $1,150 dem na ba yokku to $1,570. ñi nga xam ne ñoom ñoo nekk Greater Banjul area muy over area ñu daan consume si ndox mu daan demee si $1,780. waaye bu ñu ko demee nga xool fu mu nekk 37% increment bi soo ko demee nga xool ko dem na ba egg si $2,440. borom kër boo xam ne nii mu ngi nekk di liggéey si biir nguur gi nga xam ne pay scale nguur gi from grade 1 to grade 5 $3,000 su fekkee ne yow courant kase yaa ngi ko war a mun a fay ndox kase yaa ngi ko mun a fay si $2,440 ñaata moo laa dese $560. These are things that are not realistic. su fekkee ne yii muy continuer ñun gëm nañ ne corruption ak ñoo xëy fi jógee ko sax su fekkee ne ndox kase wala da nga ko war a mun a fay pour $2,440 naka ngaa fayee sa ndox te lu ko fa doole si Gambien si mënuñoo am seen këri boobu mu si nekk di si luwaas nga ne $5,000 soo ko denc pour weer bu dee bu nekk da nga am pour denc $5,000 for 33 years pour nga am $2 million kër bu baax mënut laa amal $2 million pour bis ko ndax nit mën naa am $5,000 sax bu fekkat su fekkee ne yaa ngi jël foofu ba pare du ko fayee te Gambie soo dooree CRR dem ba URR ba si kaw yëpp ndox bu nekk moom moo nekk si biir géej why do we need to have these water resources in this country and paying for this exorbitant price for what? loolu dafa nekk loo xam ne nii kenn suñu mënu koo understand ñu ngi rafetlu ne government bi génn na si famille new nekk suba 46 villages wala 46 dëkk si biir dëkk yi ñëpp dinañ mën a am ndox ak courant waaye su fekkee ne ñi nga xam ne ñu ngi nekk si biir dëkk wala ñu def nga si biir dëkk bi su fekkee ne yow mënuloo am li nga dundee 37% increment bi su dooree naka la ñuy yëpp di mun a fayee pour lii because dem nañ ba gis ne ndox ak courant dafa mujjee nekkaat mbir boo xam ne nii lu nekkaat mbir yu baax la because ñun ñëpp fekkee woon nañ fi amoon na time boo xam ne nii nit ñi suñ toogaan seen biir kër yi di nga am ñoo xam ne dañoo eewu suma fay seen cash towee dem liggéey duñ ko ñëwaat taalaat ba after timis si biir dëkk soo gisee ñun ñëpp ñu gën a because of lii dafa nekk loo xam ne nii dafa naxari Gambia bi yëpp te ñu jógee ko CPC ni ñu ko waxee moom mooy nekk ne suñu gisee dañoo wax ne jógati ne gars yi jógati ne lu gars yi di wax because of am na ñoo xam ne dañ leen brand boo xam ne nii opposition bi ñoom ñoo leen indi waaye lii moo nekkul mbiri parti lii nekkul mbiri xeet ba pare lii nekkul mbiri affiliation ne Banjul laa dëkk wala fële laa dëkk amul marché opposition amul marché ruling parti courant bi amul tarif opposition amul tarif ruling parti dafa fekk ne lii dafa nekk ni dalal war dëkk bi yëpp ba pare su dalee dëkk bi yëpp ndoor foog mu am ñeneen ñoo xam ne nii dëkk bi yëpp bu doon gën a ndoor foog mu am ñoo xam ne nii ñoom ñooy organise nit ñi pour nit leen si biir dialogue ba pare nit ñi jox leen seen kàddu pour ñu gëm sa bopp foofu la am toolu fu nekk te gëm nañ ne dialogue am na gëm nañ ne dinañ wax ak IGP gëm nañ ne dinañ enter a dialogue through the CPC gëm nañ ne dinañ am a formal request buñ def because of comme ni ko waxee organisation yi nga xam ne ñoom ñoo ànd ak PUR dem ak nawet ñu leen a ooyee comme briefcase organisation yi nga xam ne dañoo toog rek di dem di sign ay mbir yoo xam ne nii grassroots organisation landlocked countries. These are not right. Te wax bi nekkul te dafa gudda te su fekkee ne bu dara tamit ngeen jégal ñu waaye lii lañ jël ne dinañ interview consultation with the Gambian people dinañ dem in a dialogue with the public authorities but at the end of the day si biir bu bañ a yàgga su fekkee ne ñoom mënuñoo résolve lii waaye gars yi dellu gannaaw si seen 37% increment bi ñun dinañ génn si biir dëkk bi ñu jaamaan ko
jërëjëf Fallou Galas Junior xam naa yaa ngi déglu wala seetaan si jamono bi pour nga mun a am li nga xam ne rek mooy xibaar bi di acknowledge few people ñi nga xam ne ñoo leen teew fii nii Omar champion di la jaajëfal bu bëree bëri li nga jëlee sa waxtu pour ñu maa ngi gis Essa Ndiaye tamit mu nekk ndaw bu takku nekk lecturer UTG moom tamit maa ngi recognize fii nga xam ne mooy président ak Omar Camara as well we acknowledge your presence to this press conference. Next, Kumar O Moy Lamin Mane, a concerned Gambian and volunteer for a short statement. More coming to a statement concerning this press conference. Lamin, you're welcome.
Assalamu alaikum. Good afternoon. I will first start by welcoming the media. Thank you so very much for adhering to the call of the concerned citizens, and then the communication of Team Gomsabova for championing this and then giving it the coordination and a sense of direction. Because when there is an outcry there, the public is showing a lot of concern. So that indicates, I think, it is genuine for a group like, or a team like Team Gomsabova to champion the cause of this nature and influence authorities that need to be influenced so that everything comes back to where it is. That is going to be something else because right now many things come in, things from transportation, food, electricity, water, everything is skyrocketing. So we need to take things according to the time that we have. And as we speak now, NOx issue is what is on the table, and we would like to take it from NOx point. Yes, electricity is an essential part of modern life. We have to admit that. We have to move away from that traditional ways of living, where you using your family or whatever, where women will cook and eat, finish that same dish. But now we move into a generation where women will now cook, put it in the fridge whatsoever, and then use it maybe 3 or 4 days. So when things of those sorts are happening in this country, and NOAC is fully aware of that, I think they are not doing their homework right. And we need to tell them that they are not doing their homework right. NOAC issue is now getting worse because it is creating tensions in the household. Right now, some men and their wives are not on good terms because of NOAC issue. Yes. Because if your wife is cooking and then storing the food for about 3 to 4 days so that you can be gradually warming the food for you, and you cannot afford that now because when you were giving say 1,000 for NOAC, right now you need to give away 2,000 or so for NOAC, and then your kids are going to school. There are lots of things that you have to do to upkeep your family. So NOAC should not be the only body that will stress you, and then you bring down to your family whatsoever. So I think NOAC should also consider that part. And then food, welding, and other stuff. All these things that we do, especially buildings and life itself, have a connection with electricity now. If you want to build your house, you really need NOAC, and you really need electricity because at the end of the day, you need welders to make your a window or a door whatsoever so that you can cover up yourself. So NOAC need to also consider that developments are now prioritizing their doors and their whatsoever, and then it is not a good thing for the citizens. The citizens are crying out loud for those kind of problems. Again, NOAC, I think NOAC is not properly taken serious because NOAC right now is, I am 1 year older than NOAC. NOAC is roughly 27 years old. A 27 years old institution that has failed on the good democratic government is not something that we need to throw our weight behind. NOAC right now, Gambia, as we said, is the 5th most expensive if we are talking about West African electricity product. Gambia is ranked 5th. Gambia is above only Guinea-Bissau, and we all know Guinea-Bissau of recent these political turmoils or mayhems that we are happening there. There is no democracy at Guinea-Bissau, there is no proper democracy at Mali, and Gambia, Mali is on top of Gambia as well, and then you have Liberia and Cape Verde. These are the countries that Gambia is, saying that we are doing better, in terms of security. And you cannot call yourself doing better when those ones are, when every decade or so going through political, tensions that are, jeopardizing their democracy. And you have been observing democracy for at least since your inception. So 27 years old institution, we believe, should be doing great. Should do better than this. If growth comes with responsibilities, so now we should know that the population of this country is growing. So whatsoever that they are doing, they need to expand what they do to ensure that the population meet the requirement. Now it has been failing this country for far too long now. Since its inception till date, this country has been seeing blackout. This country has been seeing sometimes a whole week no light. So you cannot tell us that you are doing good when 27 years you cannot supply even a portion of a country with a sufficient power supply. That is a huge failure. I think government need to recheck or reshuffle the administration of North if they want to see the best out of North, because no one can do better than this. No one can do better than this. And the former speakers here have already delivered a lot of things that are pertaining to the concerns of the citizens here, and I don't want to waste much of our time going over those things, because the issue of food stuff that are now skyrocketing because of Traffic Increment, it is not under their control. They have to do it to survive. If you are selling things for $5 and now you have to go to $10 or so, you cannot stay at home because you need that money to upkeep your family. So you just go out there, whatever that you have from the people, you keep it. But they will have to know that all those problems lies on their heads. They need to go back to the drawing board and ensure that we have a country that we create
Thank you very much, Lamin, my concerned Gambian and volunteer, for that statement. I also want to recognize the Vice President of Team Kosovo, Tijan Joe. Tijan is right here. Can you say hi to him? Yes. Tijan is the Vice President of Team Kosovo. We also want to recognize the presence of Ibrahim Fati, who is our representative in Fadikunda. He is commonly known as Mentally. He has been there for Team Kosovo. So we're now going to welcome the President of Team Kosovo, Ali Chan. He's commonly known to all of you as Mentally. Yes, but he's going to give a short statement on today's press conference.
First of all, I would like to say thank you, a special thank you to the media first. You guys were here 1 hour before everybody. So you guys definitely are playing a major role in the sensitization of the community. So Gambia Trust, we really appreciate all of you. Also would like to say thank you to Suñu kilifa gi Alpha Omar, bi nga xamante ne dafa jox jotaay bi taar boo xamante ne voilà kilifa fu mu toog rek àndal ndaw yi jàppale ndaw yi rek daf lay gën a empower ndaw yi di tegu si yoon bi nga xamante ne mooy gën a nekk yoon gën parce que ñoom yàgg nañ fi ñoom ñu fi jiitu ñu ngi yàgg si struggle bi te ñu ngi continuer di ànd ak ñoom kon sa teewaay bii nii even though dafa fonk we highly appreciate it te yoo xam ne bu bëri si nga xamante ne mooy suñu spirit ak suñu motivation as young people di bëggee tamit képp ku nga xamante ne ñu participated in this campaign. It's been less than 1 week, but people are taking ownership. People have opened up WhatsApp groups randomly to communicate the flyers and the messages. People are communicating on a local level. We highly appreciate everybody's participation. It's not just Kosovo, but it's Gambia, and Gambia is everybody. This is something that, as an organization, it is our mandate to stand up and defend what is major concerns in the Gambia. We really don't have the capacity to do everything as an independent organization, so we try our best and we rely on our partners and people to guide us through this so that we can have something very successful. We are not here to be labeled as people who are coming to cause trouble. We are here as concerned citizens who are wanting to speak on behalf of the general Gambian population who are facing a situation who are Nicola, I'm a police officer, I'm a teacher, I'm a journalist, I'm a debater, I'm a media getter staff, I'm a mayor massive. Everybody. Go on the increase in the urban areas of $2,440. The good example from journalists who struggle and said salary might be estimated around minimum $2,500. That's the average. Accurate average is $2,500. Example from the journalists. We want to spend $2,440. Meaning that $60 remainder of his or her earnings. Because we're going to go on pass to job. You get what I mean? That's just the example. The whole teacher me. You have to meet between 8 o'clock in the morning. The jungle from 8 up to 5, sometimes up to even 6. Coco would receive a base salary of 2005. Would they say $60? The average Gambian will live. We want to spend $240, $2,440 on electricity, $1,200 on transport to go to work back and forth. This is like $30 multiplied by that. If you look, feeding demands what I demands. Okay, everybody as Gambians, they make sure that we want to eat the best food for the family that we can afford. At least $150. That's minimum salary. Don't rate them 4,500. It's a personal side, taking credit, it's a cash power. So you sell your as a personal human being. You support a good $50 a day, you rate them more than 1,500. Now, boy, number $9,660. So salary we like $3,500. Just come nice. You are in debt of $6,160 after. So you're not earning while you're gonna go down the drain. So you're gonna be in debt. Mota hi left body, mota hi awala body, mota hi yana sutra yada sa beta bila. Yana sutra yada. Mota hi lugum sa boba. Lubuga. You said that a campaign that can ease the burden so that these people can hear us out, understanding you jama monita joke, please bring in that's the concerns of the Gambian people. Parce que they could be for native. Now, what I look at this tariff on top of the Gambian people, then again, I'm meeting low, take up. And the flow of the people affect crime, burglary, robbery, drugs. It's a chain walk. And as concerned citizens, we want to see the advancement of the Gambia. We expect authorities to engage us in the dialogue that we are willing to have with them. Because of the Gambian people, then so on. We said it's about time that the factory. Why this time we really mean it because of we cannot continue year after year like this. And in the new democracy, then again, what I remember, we were promised this from coalition. It's in the manifesto that they will provide access to electricity and water to Gambians. That was a promise, a campaign promise. Today we are still in the same situation. We can understand you. We come into your communities. We come into everywhere. We're going to come speak the language that you understand. We engage the Gambian people. Parce que nous tamit gëm sa bopp bëgg nit ñi bàyyee ñu affaire ñun dañ soxla nit ñi nekk suñu gannaaw pour tamit ñu mën a am doole bu soxla pour ñi tamit xam ne lii is not just a political thing or is an opposition thing. This is a concern of all Gambians. Parce que all Gambians play cash power si la yàlla dimbali nga am nit sa kon maa ngi ñaax nit ñi suuf security sector bi tamit di leen ñaax yéen parce que dañu leen bëgg a jaxase all the time between ñun civil society or ñun gëm sa bopp bi social movement rather all the time te loolu leen bëgg mu toog fii police officer bi is suffering from buying cash power. The average is 2005 but 5,000 xanaa yàlla sutura yàgg rek understand nga war a fay so lii seen concern la so su dara xewee please da leen ñaan ngeen ànd ak ñun si xeex bii nii parce que lii su sootee police officer bi dafa noppalu SAS gars bi dafa noppalu paramilitary bi tamit dina xalaat am tuuti noppaliku boo xamante ne dina ko gën a kon bu leen ñu xoolee as enemies bu leen ñu xoolee as rebels bu leen ñu xoolee as troublemakers da ngeen ñu xoolee comme seen brothers and sisters ñoo xamante ne ñun du leen naa represent on yéen seen behalf parce que we always face the problem of security services being oppressed when we want to fight for constitutional rights. Please, with this campaign and any other civil campaign that we have, the late IGP, Nancy Yalaji, Mamu Joe, Yala Yiram, but I want Gayu, Wahona, go support, respect me because of some protests with the doing. It was one of the most peaceful and organized. The police officer said, "No, you don't have to take a bang time." Because the security specifically again gives us from a different eye, please. Because du toujours ngeen war a sànni teegaas wala déedéet waxtaan leen nag ñun ñu seen ay rakk lañ am na ay mbokk yoo xamante ne ay police lañ ay cousins ay fathers ay uncles ay aunties kon please ngeen bàyyi xel loolu lii pour yéen la ñun mun nañoo toog suñu kër ku fi toog suñu kër ku nekk mun naa wax ne sant yàlla am na njëriñ as papa ak lu métti bi am na fi ñoo xam ne sax am na solo kon su caaxaan ba jeex su leen neexoon ñu ne ñoom du taxaw si xeex bi waaye soo ko see ñu koy def tamit parce que daf leen itteel ba pare daf leen ñor so am bringing on the general Gambian population di waxal government bi tamit ne ñoom bu ñu xoolee ne ñun opposition leen ñun we are here we are the sixth arm of the government xam nga dañ lay wax da nga am xaw ma ñaata arm du wér arm so ñun si government bi leen bokk kon bu leen ko def opposition da leen fàttali ko ni tey la waaye démba bu méttee woon comme sa boppam ngeen yaakaaroon pour ñu leen am mobiliser ndaw yi pour advocate for change ba yàlla def change boobu loolu am te the same team comme sa bopp boobu la suñu neexoon ñu fight for positions wala nekk ay ambassador wala def leneen la nekk waaye ñun fii la ñu yàlla teg kon jàppale lañu suñu xeet bi ngeen bay ñoo def ay radicals ay criminals ay doomu réew leen doomu réew ñu jógee ko si waajur yu baax jógee ko si kër yu baax ba pare tamit nekk ñoo xamante ne lii moo ñu ñor incha allah man loolu ñoo bëgg a mu leer ngeen baalal ma nag waaye as head of the organisation this is very very important ba pare tamit as usual su amee press conference sécurité yi dañ fi dee ñëw so am na ku fi nekk waaye ñu ko bëggee parce que suñu borom la toujours understand dafa teew te ñu ngi ñaan yàlla lu fi mu di jëlee na dem wax boosam yi ne ñu dee parewul def terroriste attaque de ñu dee demoon di bomb fen de demoon dara lii la gars yi bëgg a def lii ak lii la gars yi bëgg a def dafa bëgg a engage waxtaan pour cash power bi wàññeeku pour yow suma boss ak man ñi nga xamante ne maa ngi laa liggéeyal si salaire bi.
Thank you.
So last but not least, one more thank you to the media. Please, all media that is here present today, we want to add you guys to the database moving forward. Parce que yéen a amee the eyes and the ears of the people. God, thank you so much. And thank you so much to John Charles Guy for supporting you one way or another. And we are calling on anybody who wants to support li nga xamante ne mooy initiative bii nii ngeen ñëw ngeen support, you know, because of at the end of the day, lii dafa nekk loo xamante ne we dugal from the heart, kenn joxul ñu gërëm, kenn pusuñu, kenn tamit influence ñu. So we keep calling on support from the general masses pour ñu taxaw suñu gannaaw ñu ànd together rather to make sure that this fight is done. Dafa doy team boobu support woon.
Thank you very much, Mr. Jam Ali. He's the president of the People Support. But now we're going to move to question and answer session. The media, thank you very much again for coming. This is going to be a time for you to ask your questions to the president, the spokesperson, whoever you feel like you can answer. So if you're ready, let me have your names and the institution you're representing. Who is going first? Oh, we are not having any questions. We are okay.
We'll send a copy of the statement as well.
Yes, we'll give you a copy.
Any questions? Yeah.
Okay, let's have Mike from Star TV.
Yes, I am Michael from Star TV. My question is just I had you guys mention of the percentage of the increase, and I don't want to send the message to the government. As you guys say, it's our responsibility. So we send a message to the court reference. If the only money can serve you, what was the previous time and what was the percentage of the previous time, so that we can know how much was it.
So, so money that try to answer question. So before Balaka increase binyo. Now, so general cash power per kilowatt hour, being a kilowatt hour, we're gonna spend approximately because of the farm each charges. If we did now cash power, then the charges in so the business before we went in $10.27 for 1 kilowatt hour. One day later, that same kilowatt hour will so then we did up. The business did not get up to $14.30. Yeah, like a 37% increase. So looking at important, we put on electricity, 37% increase. So load on gender, I'm like 37% increase. So you will see not before, see current tariff we this normal code fini additional charges for water because of what we just straight from same time. Before the non-pay $12.27 per cubic meter. They then on different categories. Tariff rate of a complex. But if you look tariff rate, we can share the actual tariff right now. When the lake is still not moving, so go to the lake that cost 14.15. So Lolo make a 20% increase. So yeah, you know, one of the main issues we see now, but for the transportation, you are before you don't pay $10 from your fee. So don't $10. But lady, you get $13 plus. So Lolo make a main tariff increases. So some statement you call breakdown, design company, how many you're digging community. So any other question?
How about the component to get picture of the public?
Yes.
Yeah, we give them a copy.
Yes, we'll give them all of them. But any, if you wanted to, sorry, let me let you.
No, landing.
Yes. Landing is a second part. My question is basically, have you guys started engaging the relevant authorities regarding this issue? If you already started, how far are you with this issue? And also, with regards to the planned protest, if the relevant authorities did not act, they refuse to act. We all know how sarcastic public order act is. Sometimes the police will go there and deny you deliberately without any genuine reason. In a case where you people are denied, having to go on peacefully to protest, what would be your next step? That's my question.
So, so as for the first question, actually the campaign starts now. Now, we are starting as our Papa said. We will engage the relevant authorities, as mentioned earlier, starting from now, and we promise to keep the media updated, and posted with our developments as they happen live and direct.
Just to supplement some responses. So we did go and meet up with Pura. We did have a conversation with Pura during the Ramadan period. If you can remember, that was when this tariff increase happened. And I think that has caught many Gambians by surprise because the increase occurred within the Ramadan period. So perhaps the government was very smart with its positioning of when they were going to do that. Pura did tell us that they have done some level of consultation, which my uncle was even alluding to, but not enough clear, because many of us, as you can see, they did not even engage CPC. The Consumer Protection Consortium was not engaged, let alone us and the ordinary Gambians. So we are telling Pura that they have not done their job with regards to engaging Gambians sufficiently. That's the first question. With regards to the protest, we believe your rights are God-given, and nobody is going to even hand it over to you. We have to fight for our rights. We are putting the police on notice because of, actually, we the taxpayers, the Gambian taxpayers, are the ones who are paying for all of these security forces. And we've already appealed for them to understand what we are fighting for is for all of them. We anticipate that they may be reluctant, like they have because of the track record. But one thing which we are going to do is we are not going to surrender our rights. We are not going to surrender our rights. That's the first thing. And secondly, we first want to engage in dialogue. So it's up to them. If they engage us in dialogue and we feel that this is really moving in the right direction, it may not get to that. But we understand that this government, the message that they understand is protest. And if we have to, we will speak that language.
And to add on to that, last but not least, like, off of our experience as Team Books of Work, the question for a permit is the process that we always abide by. But it does not stop us from doing what we have to do, because it is enshrined in the Constitution that every citizen has the right to gather peacefully. Thank you.
Yeah, and I just want to also state here that
with regards to the CPC. You know, sometimes it's not all about even, you can express yourself with protest through many other means other than going out in the street and, you know, having, you know, problems with the security, supposedly if you are not given the permit. You see, there are several ways that you can protest. You can organize sit-down strikes, you can defiances in many ways. So these are things that for the young ones, I know, sometimes it can be very sensational. But you know, as long as we are working together, and we want to reassure you that we will not leave you behind in Gonzalo, because you are fighting on our behalf as consumer protection association. This is about consumer interest and welfare. So we will be working hand in hand with you. And for us, you know, of course, we don't rule out anything at the end of the day, and we respect your position of giving, you know, your right to protest and go out, demonstration. But first of all, we said there will be dialogue. There will be dialogue. And if you open up to dialogue, certainly we are very optimistic that Pura and all the other stakeholders would listen and they would reason. And we are confident that we would negotiate and we would come to an agreement that is in the interest of consumers. We include both NAWEC staff, even NAWEC staff, and government, and whichever political party you belong to, or whatever sphere of life you come from, okay, or whatever institution you belong to. This would affect each and everyone as consumers. But we are not also ruling out litigation. All right? Yes. In the event that, you know, sometimes you have, you know, discussions and negotiations, but if you don't arrive at an agreement, that is why we said we are going to lodge a formal complaint alongside this. And we can rely on the courts to seek redress and get this revised. So I'm saying it's not all about protests and demonstrations outside. All right? And we are in this together with the CPC.
I have a follow-up question. Yes. People are regulating so many things in this country. Water, electricity, telecoms, and so on. It is not only NAWEC. The telecom, industry, they are definitely breaking barriers. We have the worst telecommunication system in this country. In Africa, you cross border, you don't have phone, and then you register phone already. Like the more you log into your Facebook, the more they still keep stealing your megabyte. With your engagement with Pura, have you included the telecommunications aspect to discuss with them, because they are the ones regulating these people as well?
Can we please direct your question to a particular person?
So, okay, the two of us, we can both answer because we engage and they engage.
But just to keep it precise and more.
No problem. Yeah. So just to answer his question, and next time, but just to say, when we spoke to Pura, we were speaking to them only on electricity and water. That's what we were speaking to them. We know the telecoms has been an issue, and if I remember, it was a major problem some years back when even some companies increased their tariff without even informing, the members of the public, and their price was going very quickly. I think Pura did some very minute punishment, which obviously is not commensurable to what they did. But we would like to take this opportunity to remind Pura, it is not just about price increases. Pura needs to look at standard and quality. You talk about the 4G. Is it actually 4G? So these are the things that Pura also have to look. If people were getting high-speed internet at reasonable or even a little bit more expensive prices, one would not complain. Even us in the media, when we are streaming, we are trying to stream videos to go out. you see that many times it's failing. Just because the internet is not good, the quality, what you are paying for, the megabytes per second, which you are paying for, we are not getting. So obviously, we don't want to put so many things all into one pot. Or else when we go to have a dialogue, probably we will never ever come out to tell the Gambian people that this is what we have concluded. But definitely, my brother, you highlight an issue which is a concern to everybody in this country. And it highlights, thank God, you know what you had, the list that they were talking about, the expenditures, we did not even add 4G. So now imagine if we added that, then it would be way back. So PURA has a lot of work to do. They need to regulate standards. It's not just about price increases all the time. Quality and standard regulation is what PURA must be focusing on. And if they fix that, a lot of things will be done.
And also to add on to that, right, I want you to understand, like, as a movement, we are trying to build the environment where people can actually voice out their concerns as the direct consumers. That's the type of culture that we need to encourage, so that the people that are directly affected will have the willpower to voice their concerns collectively. And I believe the Duffer Bay campaign is a step in the right direction towards other things. Because now if the 37% increase affects these GSM companies, and they increase by 37% again, my brother, it's going to be way more 37% worse than what you already concerned about. So I believe this is a step in the right direction to give us the framework on the priorities, and I believe we can get there.
I just want to respond. As far as the CPC, the Consumer Protection Consortium, is concerned, I think, yes, we might need to really, use the media more. But it was when this 4G issue came up, we in fact went out and called a press conference, and we also took one of these telephone service providers who claimed false 4G. We took them to the Gambia Competitions and Consumer Protection Commission. And, we filed a formal complaint and took them. And there were several challenges that we put forward. It was not only about the 4G, which we felt was misleading and false, but also we understood that they were giving ringing tones, ringing tone to consumers who did not request for that. All right. And also there was the social media bundle, for which they would tell you to subscribe. And then once you subscribe once, and that is where they deduct $10, for on a daily basis. So, and once you subscribe once, that is automatic, not to the knowledge of the consumers. Okay? And every day subsequently, they will be every day, whether you you subscribe or you don't, they will continue to deduct $10. We have taken the telephone service, companies to on area, that is alternative dispute resolution. We went to a court, and that is still not resolved. All right, but we have seen some improvements, and there were promises made. This is about regulation. PURA is also responsible, certainly, for the utilities as well as for the telephone services. But there is also this issue of the media, okay? Especially when it comes to false and misleading advertisements, which PURA is also supposed to regulate. We know we have the Medicines Control Agency when it comes to, false advertisements and drugs and so on that enter our markets. And so all these are very, very key issues that as consumers, we are concerned, okay? And PURA is the regulator that is responsible for this. But we are not only engaging PURA. This is not about PURA alone. This is about engaging all those institutions, okay, that have a mandate to regulate, and they are failing in this country. And we will continue to take this up. What city and water, encourage the journalists to engage subsequently, to engage the Consumer Protection commission or consortium. You know, if you want to know what is being done with regards to transport, you know, challenges that we have, medicine challenges that we have, the essential commodities skyrocketing that we have, what is being done with the, you know, the fluctuations in the prices, misleading advertisements, and so on and so forth. Okay, this is our position, and we want to make it.
Thank you, sir. Let's keep our questions very precise because we know Juma is very yeah. Mike?
Yes, I have a follow-up question.
Okay.
If Mr. President can help me with this one. The press conference is already been held, and the purpose is for the media to disseminate the message to the public. I'm quoting of reference sometimes as to other organizations who call for a press conference. Mr. President said you have two steps to take. One is to apply the public, and two, you are also working on right. With both of them is possible. But like, are we come back in case Islamic 59 for the dialogue is accepted and it goes through? Because some will call for a press after the dialogue, you don't hear from them anymore.
Yeah, that's very unfair. I believe that that's very unfair for those that do that. You know, shame on you for doing such. Unfortunately, that's why I mentioned earlier, you guys are part of this fight, and we cannot do this even without you. So us doing any engagement without interacting with you guys, to us, is a piece of the puzzle that is not complete. I believe that the media is a piece of this puzzle, just like civil society, just like the people on the grassroots, just like the people that we have dialogue with, just like CBC. That's how we have the media. And us not engaging the media, to us, that's not even good for our communication strategy as a social movement that relies on effective communication. So be rest assured, no man is perfect, but I do have trust in our able media team, which consists of Mariam Bogan, Yusuf, and many young ones here, for them to execute that, and we will highlight that in group to make sure that will not happen like those that do that. Thank you.
Do you have any other questions? Are we good?
Okay.
Okay. I will now call on Yusuf or Ali to give the vote of thanks before we call it today.
So, vote of thanks. Like I said, first I would like to thank the media. Thank you so much. I would like to thank the general Gambian population, the people that supported this campaign from the start. And we encourage everybody to support us in this campaign. The support comes in many ways, by sharing flyers, by taking 30-second videos of how this happened. There's many ways that you can get involved. And we are also thanking our elder here who has spiced up this press conference with even more professionalism and maturity as a higher table. We would also like to thank the volunteers, my brother Lamin, Mr. Yei, Hussein Gambia, who has been in and out. He hasn't been sleeping. He's been here since 7 o'clock. We said we've been here at 9 o'clock. He's here at 7 o'clock, my friend. So we have to definitely, and I'm the coordinators who are here. The movement is open for people who want to join the movement. It's a movement for social change, irrespective of tribe, irrespective of political affiliation. As long as you are Gambian, who go support Mangarek, we need you on board. And everybody's highly welcome. Follow our social media pages. We will communicate there. So thanks to the team. We know how hard it is to try to do such campaigns. And the time and tactical I did not mention, and I'm going to why definitely to hold the young Yalanet, the Yalanet, if you want to be big on the conduct, and do us good and come back, the Gambia will come by any day. Thank you very much,
Alisha, and of course, media, thank you very much. Also, acknowledge the presence of Traffic Gambia. They have been doing a fantastic job when it comes to reliable information here in the Gambia. So thank you very much. The media, thank you so much for coming and have a nice day. Thank you very much.
aspiring